Catch up with Mayor of our fine region, Matthew Dickerson. Morning, Dicko, and good to hear that water restrictions as of yesterday, I believe, fully lifted in our city.
Fully lifted, exactly right. Umundry was the last one. And Umundry, it's not that we don't love Umundry residents. Umundry just happened to be the longest line, and the New South Wales health guidelines, the way we had to go through a process, we had to flush out the reservoirs but also flush out the lines, and because it was the longest line, it took the longest time. But yes, you're right. Finally, it's taken some time. 7th of July was when we first announced water restrictions, so it's taken from 7th of July until yesterday, till the 2nd of August, till we finally had the last reservoir lifted. I have said it before, I do apologise to the community. It's not good enough, and we'll make sure that we put procedures in place to make sure this doesn't happen again.
It took nearly a month. A lot of that was out of your hands, though, because it was state water handling it, weren't they?
New South Wales Health, we had to get permission from them. We would have lifted it much earlier. We believe that the water was safe a long time before we had those restrictions lifted. But New South Wales Health, in the last 56 boil water alerts that we've had across this state, the methodology in terms of how you come out of those boil water alerts had suddenly changed for Dubbo's situation. So we think they were being a little bit over the top in their processes. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't want to have anyone with any health issues. So the initial boil water alert we were okay with doing because the turbidity of the water was too high. But then coming out of it, it just seemed to be a very arduous process that I don't believe should have been that length of time. But again, we had to listen to what New South Wales Health had to say to us.
At least it's all behind us now. What's going on in Regand Park? I'm hearing all this chatter about playing fields and schools, and what's going on? So
let me just say, for the record, here on Triple M today, there is no secret plan for Regand Park. We have consultants engaged now. A couple of motions went through council early this year, January and February, and those resolutions of council said, go out and do a new master plan for the whole river corridor. That goes from Regand Park all the way down past the netball courts. So they were given a blank sheet of paper, and they were told to go out and consult with the community, have groups or have group meetings, have some community groups discuss with you a whole range of things, but go out and do a whole new master plan for that whole area. We've had different master plans before, but we said ignore all of those, ignore all the past. You go out and work out what's going to be the best for that river corridor. When they finally finish that process, which is in the process of occurring right now, when that process finally finishes, then they'll bring that back to councillors for some form of workshop. That hasn't happened yet. After we do that sort of workshop, we'll then take that out through a council meeting for public consultation. That hasn't happened yet. Once we finish that public consultation and go through a process, we'll go back to those consultants, we'll go back through with councillors with all the feedback we get from the community, and then we'll finally resolve a new master plan for that whole river corridor. Can I mention that hasn't happened yet either? So we're talking about sometime next year, probably early next year, before we finally have resolved what that river corridor master plan will look like. People are getting very excited about it at the moment, saying, please don't let sporting fields be down there. Please don't let private clubs put sporting fields. Let me say again, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, there is no plan and we haven't finished the consultation yet. So just calm down, everyone. It's okay. We'll listen to the community. We'll go through a process like we did when we did a master plan for Regand Park back around 2012, 2013. We went through this exhaustive consultation process and went through the steps to get to a final outcome. We're doing something very similar at the moment. For whatever reason, some people are very excited in the community at the moment about these hidden secret plans that we've supposedly got. Well, if they're hidden from me as well, because I haven't seen all these hidden secret agendas and plans.
All right, so nothing in the pipeline yet, but in the next year or two, wait for news, I guess.
Well, sooner than that, but the consultation is occurring at the moment. We have engaged a consultancy firm. They're going through that process now. They've been out having community groups. I've had people tell me they've attended some of their consultations. So that's all occurring right at this stage. If we had some hidden secret plan that we're going to roll out at the click of our fingers, we wouldn't waste the money on a consultancy and going through that process. They don't come cheap, unfortunately.
All right, well, you're a busy man. I'll let you get back to the job. Mayor Matthew Dickerson, thank you so much for your time this morning.